Damon has a school project that opens up quite a few of our favorite characters. Simone is faced yet again with her anxiety, and Keisha makes a beautifully vulnerable revelation that allows her friends to show up for her and her dad in one of the best ways possible. What's good, y'all? It's your good sis Erica Vane coming to you right here on Erica Vane TV with another All-American Homecoming video. In this video, I am breaking down Season 1, Episode 7 of All-American Homecoming, the episode titled Godspeed. If you are new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn on your bell notifications so that you don't miss out on any of my All-American Homecoming content. We have right here on Erica Vane TV one of the best All-American communities, having all of the dope conversations around the All-American universe. So you're going to want to join the tribe by hitting subscribe. But without further ado, let's get into this episode. So the episode opens on Damon, who is sitting down in front of a camera talking about nature versus nurture, which is the topic of his project. And for him, not knowing where he comes from, not knowing who his biological parents are, present a kind of like challenge for him of doing this project. And as the episode goes on, we get to see Simone and Damon kind of studying together in his room, and she makes the note to him like, yo, you can actually pull from other people's experiences. You can do interview documentary style if you want to, still do a really great job with this project, but you don't have the insights from your own point of view. Now, I love this whole theme for the episode being shaped by this conversation or this topic. I think that it's so beautiful, and this episode really gives us a chance to get to know more of the characters on an internal level. We talked about that a lot on my live last night. If you missed it, I do a live talking about what's going down in the All-American universe after each episode every Monday. So you can go ahead and rewatch the replay to get some thoughts on other people's initial reactions and perspectives of the episodes, as well as my initial thoughts. The video will be linked in the cards above as well as the description box down below. Now, I want to start off with talking about Simone, who has a big tennis tournament in this episode that's going to help shift her position on the team. If she can actually rank in 5th place or above, she can raise her 8th place ranking on the team and really start to rise to the top of her tennis team. One of the biggest hurdles that she's faced with in this episode is that she's going to wind up having to play against the number 2 player in their whole entire conference. And this is something that Thea mentions early on in the episode. And I ain't gonna hold you, y'all. I didn't catch this at the beginning or when I first watched this, but I caught this now after rewatching. And Simone goes to Nate and Keisha and is like, I thought that, this whole frenemies thing between me and Thea was over, but she tried to psych me out this morning. And when I watched it back, I was like, wait, where was she trying to psych you out? She literally just told you the girl was number 2 that you were going to actually be playing, and good luck. Like, I don't know. It's given sensitive to me. Like, when I went back and rewatched this episode, Thea wasn't actually in her mean girl bag how it was made to believe with some people's remarks about her. Like, she did not say anything wrong. She had to make the announcement to the entire team about the tournament, what was at stake with the tournament. And then when she saw who Simone was paired with, she gave her insight into the level of player that person is so that she could remember to bring it. Now, maybe Simone isn't one of those athletes who wants to know those type of things or can know those type of things, because as we saw play out in this episode, she goes into bouts of anxiety and she starts to have performance anxiety and basically not do as well as she possibly could with the knowledge of who these people are that she's actually playing. But Thea was just thinking about it from like her point of view and how she is, and she kind of, I think, relates Simone to her in some way, in that Simone is trying to be a really great athlete, a really competitive athlete. She's given Thea a run for her money quite a few times, and Thea is the type of person who will want to know, who probably researches who she's going up against. And that would have been nothing for somebody to say, Thea, you're going up against the number 2 player in the conference. She would have been like, okay, bet. Now I know I got to do this, this, and this. What are my weaknesses? What's something that's bothering me this week? What is something that I was messing up with my last couple matches? I'm going to go ahead and address it. So for me now, having watched the episode again or watched specific parts of it again, I would love for Simone to shift her focus a little bit from trying to put a little bit of blame on Thea and really just better assess and be aware of the player that she is, and if she is ready for the type of competition that she's trying to invite into her space, right? Like, you made the tennis team, you are at college, that was your ultimate goals. Like, maybe you don't need to be the top player on the team if you are not able to mentally handle handle that right now, and that needs to be okay too. Now, this isn't something that actually is discussed in the episode, y'all, but that's just my take on what we saw from Simone in this episode. By the end, she is able to, you know, triumph and raise her ranking a little bit. She is supported throughout the episode by Thea. Thea takes a sign and does the whole zone equal love, which I wasn't really sure what that means. If you feel like you know, let me know in the comment section down below. I just know that it was a moment of support. And it's also Thea who gathers her together while she's on this treadmill later on after she loses a little bit, and basically puts it to her plain like, yo, we've been having this conversation since you got here. You need to figure out a way to get into your zone. I heard about your panic attacks. Why did you think that you weren't going to have another panic attack again? The panic attacks are not the problem, baby. You not leaning in and working with your anxiety and trying to ignore it is the problem. So you need to figure out how to get into your zone. And I didn't see not a crumb left or a problem or issue stated. Like, I don't understand why people was giving Thea the blues last night, because she wasn't giving frenemy energy to me. She was giving real friend energy. And I think it's interesting, especially when we're talking about these series online, because in the digital space, I think there's so much energy around hyper polarized conversations or thoughts, and that you either are super nice and kind and that makes you a friend, but if you're honest and direct, then you're not. And it's like, no, I don't know about y'all, but I want people who is going to be honest with me, who are actually going to help me become a better person, who will help me lean into my shortcomings and figure out ways to strengthen them. So shout out to Thea for being a real friend and not necessarily patting Simone up or coddling her, but being very, very honest in this episode and understanding what her goals are in reference to moving up on the team, and trying to make sure that she gives her the perspective and the advice that she needs to meet her goals. It's one thing to make somebody feel good, but what Thea was trying to do was make sure that she looked good and performed good. You can feel good once you win, sis. Before that, let's get this work. And before we finish with Miss Thea Bia, can we give her that name? Y'all know I like to give them nicknames. What's Thea's nickname, y'all? Thea Bia. We're gonna go with Thea Bia right now. But before we get off of her, can we talk about the love connection? So y'all wasn't seeing it, right? When I had made the notes a couple episodes ago, and I was just like, I could see Damon and Thea. Y'all wasn't noticing it? Y'all wasn't noticing it until she gets her behind in front of this camera and she's talking about nature versus nurture. And she's like, I think nurture, because I've been busting my butt on all of these tennis courts all around the world. And he's like, well, how do you see yourself outside of the court? And she gets to stumbling and fumbling because she don't know who she is off the court. And he reassures her like, I'm pretty sure once you figure it out, that girl's gonna be just as dope. And she like giggling inside, and I love that for you, Thea. And I know y'all see it, so I don't want to say I told you so, but I did. We is championing Thea and Damon so that y'all can let Damon and Simone go. They gonna give us the friend goals that we need, and it need to just be that. I mean, we can have a little bit of drama, but it needed to just be that. I don't know. I really, really, really love this scene with Thea and Damon, y'all. All jokes aside, their characters to me feel like they both have needs that each other can help fill. And I'm really excited to see their friendship grow as well, and to see like what does Thea's first experiences with potential love or like romantic interest and all of that looks like. And I think that she will be safe if it is with Damon. I feel like I'm kind of protective of like knowing that she don't have any experience and knowing that, you know, she don't know what she's doing in reference to the whole dating game. Like, I'm like, yo, the person that she decides to actually try with and go the distance with, it needs to be a very, very solid brother. And Damon has presented himself as such. So yeah, let me know what y'all thinking about Damon and Thea. Also in this episode, y'all, we get an unexpected visit from Coach Saw, who is trying to kick it around the frat house and basically plotting seeds of dissension into JR's mind because he's gullible and goofy. I'm so over seeing this coach, but clearly he is the antagonist for Coach Turner as well as the university. So we're going to continue to get moments of him. He's coaching for another university now, y'all, that's in their district, and I need Coach Turner to whoop him. Like the way that he sat across from JR, because JR decides to go to him for advice. Out of all people, JR, out of all people, I'm sorry, y'all. I just don't see it for JR. He continues to make these daggone missteps, and I get it. Divorce is hard. Like I said, I understand that. I totally feel for him with that. But like him as a character, he just moves so daggone shifty and makes such shifty decisions. Out of all the people, you want to go to this dude to get advice about you quitting because you missed the team? And of course he's gonna tell you some dumb stuff like, oh no son, you need to go find another way and build something else for yourself. You don't need to go back to that team. Of course he's gonna tell you that. He's the competition. He literally was ousted for disrespecting, demeaning, and corrupting the moral code of y'all's baseball team, causing y'all to have to start over from scratch. Like, what are you thinking, JR? Meanwhile, you running around here still got an attitude with Damon, who is trying to make peace with you. Y'all didn't send it in the DNA test, and you still kicking up smoke about that. It's just like, sir, pick a struggle. If you're gonna be mad about your parents' divorce, be mad about your parents' divorce, and then let everything else go, because all this other goofy stuff, it's just making a big tornado of dumb mess that's circling around you, and don't nobody want to get involved with that. Now, shout out to his frat brothers who actually check him like, yo, you can't be listening to what Coach Shaw got to say. He was wrong. Basically, don't listen to him. It was just interesting to me that he even did listen to him, because he does take a moment in this episode to confront Coach Shaw about how he, made the mistakes that he made that compromised the team. But then after that, you go to him about your personal business. It's like, thank God for these frat brothers, because JR is adrift, okay? He is lost adrift, and somebody needs to help him. And I don't necessarily know if I want to go send help. And while we talking about coaches, we get a couple little moments with Coach Turner in this episode where he's trying to go make peace with Auntie Amara at the top of the episode, and she ain't trying to have it because she really ain't got no rap for him. Ma'am, y'all was busting it wide open in this gym. Why? Don't do this. Don't do this. I'm sorry. Like, I'm gonna need y'all to get it together. Like, I get that you got an attitude. I get that you frustrated with him. But girl, you clearly into him. He clearly into you. Y'all need to figure this joint out, because y'all getting on my nerves right now. And then following it up with Coach One Band, One Sound. Shout out to Naya. That's what we call Zeke, y'all. We call him not Coach. We call him Mr. One Band, One Sound. I love our group chat. Anyway, she gets shut down by him with the original place for the summit that she's holding for Black women in journalism. And then Simone comes through and helps her, be able to relocate on the tennis courts. And we don't really get much from Coach Turner aside from Auntie Amara shutting him down, then him checking on Zeke, and then learning about this is Zeke's wife's birthday this weekend. And we get a little moment of, like, I guess, friendship with them in this moment. And then by the end, we're going to Coach Turner sitting at his desk and taking a pill for some type of mood disorder. And I'm thinking it could be something that has to do with maybe bipolar disorder or something like that. So clearly we're going to get more on Coach Turner coming soon. It's going to be a little bit more to the story, I think, in reference to what happened with him and Auntie Amara and what made him actually leave the way that he did and really back down. Like, he might have given her a good amount of the truth a few episodes back, but now we're about to get the whole truth, and I'm here for it. There was so much happening in this episode, y'all. I'm trying to make sure that I get everything. If I miss anything, let me know in the comment section down below, and we can keep the conversation going in the comments, okay? And be sure to hit that subscribe button. If you are continuing to watch, you made it all the way here and you're not subscribed, then what you doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, okay? And give this video a like for me, please. And thank you. Now, Damon spends the episode doing interviews with Cam and Simone and Thea and Keisha, all asking the question of, like, nature versus nurture. But I think that it's Cam's interview that does the most for Damon and helps him to reposition his perspective of nature versus nurture in his mind, because Cam literally speaks to it being natural for him to be able to sing, so he don't think about it, but he worked really, really hard to do football, and that's what got him out of the hood, and that was him nurturing. However, he doesn't have football anymore, and now he does have a talent that he can lean into. And imagine if he just, put this same amount of effort and energy that he put into football into his singing, then he probably could see amazing, beautiful success there as well. So Damon is the one who, like, lets him know, like, yo, it's probably a good deal of both. Like, it's probably a mixture of both. And I think that this helps reposition it for Damon of, like, he doesn't know where he comes from, so he don't know his nature, but he has been nurturing this talent that he does have that could have been given to him. He doesn't know, and it doesn't, like, lack of one or lack of knowledge of one doesn't negate the other. They really just kind of support one another. So I really love that. Through his interviews, he is really able, I think, to show up for everybody beautifully. Like, he was able to show up for Thea and reassure her. He's able to push Cam to lean into his singing. He's able to be there for Simone and listen to her conversation after her, big loss that really hits her hard. And then also he's able to give Keisha a place to fully express herself and feel seen. And I'm like, okay, Damon, now, not you going for a student of the year out here just doing the Lord's work. All right, let me correct myself. I think that it's Cam and Keisha's interviews that hit him the most, because in Cam's interview, he's able to come up with the aha moment and deliver it back to Cam, but it also applies to his life. But in Keisha's interview, she delivers him the aha moment of like, yo, focus on what you do know, don't focus on what you don't know. You might not know where you come from or your biological parents, but there's so many things about yourself, about your upbringing, about your talents that you do know, like even like how you are as a friend. Like, there's so much that you do know. Lean into that, my dude. And it's like, yes, Keisha, you out here grieving, but still out here dropping gems and supporting people. It's the selfless serving others for me. We love her. It's seeing Keisha give the pep talk that he actually needs and the perspective that he needs for his project, then also for repositioning how he feels about his situation right now in his life. And then us going into this traditional Filipino celebration that Nate and Simone put together for her to honor her mom on her mom's birthday. Oh, it's so beautiful. Keisha is brought to tears. They include her dad, and they really make it such a special moment to honor her mom and his wife, even though they can't go back to Detroit and go to the gravesite and honor her how they typically would. And this episode was really big for Netta Walker. Like, she was able to really infuse a lot of authenticity from her family and from her perspective, and I love this for her. Like, they really took a moment to shine a light on a different culture, to really just dive deep into this emotional beat for these characters that really is important, and gives us not only like a great look for this drama scene, but it gives us further clarity on who these characters are. And I'm speaking about Keisha and her dad, and then also helps color like our understanding of why they make the decisions that they make and what is motivating them, and how, you know, their grief has been a big motivator for them in a lot of ways. Keisha and her dad get to talk in this episode, and he's able to apologize. Thank God he did, because you was a jerk last week, sir. We was on your head bringing up her mama. We hate that for you, but clearly you're grieving as well. And they're able to come to, you know, a really solid place, a better perspective, and he's going to try to get on board with her dancing and support her in that way. Love that. She's taking that same healing, supportive energy, and she goes to see about Cam, and she lets him in a little bit more, and they decide to be friends and to take this thing slow. They both, I feel like, have a lot of emotional baggage that they're dealing with in reference to like feeling out of place, or maybe just not feeling like they are wanted. I think that Keisha's biggest thing when it comes to relationship, in addition to like grieving her mom right now, I think that the last relationship did a number on her. And then Cam, we don't really have any history on him in relationships, so we don't even know if this is his first time actually falling for somebody. So they're both very, very apprehensive. And all I can say is take y'all's time, because as long as y'all gonna still give us y'all kikiing together and y'all supporting one another, because y'all do that beautifully, then I'm totally here for it. And I think that really great relationships are built on super strong friendships to begin with. So I am here for it. Okay. All right, y'all, let me wrap this up, because this video is getting a little long, and I could probably talk about All American Homecoming all day. I ain't gonna hold you. So the end of the episode, after we're having, you know, Keisha's moment to honor her mom and all her friends, and, you know, Breaks the family has come together to help her do this. She goes to make amends with Cam. We get to see amends being made all around. For a second, Zeke and Amara are putting down they're calling a truce and not talking about Brinkston business, and really just allowing themselves to have this moment. And in that moment, he gets sent the video that was edited, chopped up to make it look like Auntie Amara was basically talking bad about the school. And maybe this is what he meant by when he shut down her summit to begin with. Like, he really told her she couldn't use the school property, and that's what wound up making her have to go to the tennis court. Maybe this is what he was trying to protect her from, because somebody who was recording, there was a couple people recording in the crowd, got the video and then edited to make it sound like she was saying things about the university that she actually did not say. And he was telling her that she needed to keep a low profile. So now I'm just like, maybe that wasn't such a bad idea. And then we also get JR coming to make amends with Damon, and they actually get to check their DNA results at the same time and realize that they are not brothers. So we still don't know who is Damon's parents. Who is the daddy and the mama? Come on, we need it. I need to know. And that's my breakdown. Let me know what you thought of the episode in the comment section down below. Matter of fact, drop all your thoughts, theories, and some of your predictions as well. Hit that like button to let everyone know that you liked the video, and to also be able to help the video reach other amazing All-American Homecoming fans who would also be interested in amazing content like this. If you made it all the way to the end of the video and you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit the subscribe button right now. And shout out to all of my amazing subbies who are already subscribed. I love you so very much. I thank you so very much. And shout out to y'all. I'm jumping in the comment section right now so that I can keep this conversation going. I'm gonna see you there.